everyone, welcome to Homestead Reflection. My name is Jamie and I want to share a particular flip that I did not too long ago. So one of the best things about living in Florida is our weather. Right now it is like the spring, so in the mornings, early mornings, the birds are chirping, the sun is out, and it's not incredibly hot or humid just yet. So one of my favorite things to do is to take long bike rides in the morning. And on this particular day, I decided to go around my neighborhood. And if I go around my neighborhood like 4 times, it gives me about a 10-mile bike ride. So that's what I do. And on this particular bike ride, someone had a baby changing table in their trash that was on the curb because it was trash day. So when I drove by, I saw it and my eyes just popped and my brain started going. So when I went around round 2, the second lap, I kind of looked at it a little bit more and realized I had a broken drawer, but other than that, it was in good condition. Now, it wasn't real wood. It was a manufactured, I want to say like a MDF kind of board diaper changing table. So it wasn't like I was working with some vintage or antique or solid wood piece, but it was in someone's trash. So to me, it's free. Can't hurt to pick it up and see what I could do with it. So after my bike ride, I got in the car and went over and it was still there. So I picked it up and took it home. And I sat on it for a little while because I was trying to figure out what I could do with it. And then it hit me. I could make a really cool like wine bar or like martini bar out of it. So that's what I did. I had so much fun with this piece. So I want to break down what it costs to make this this wine bar, martini bar, however you want to look, cocktail bar, however you want to look at it, because it was a really neat piece to do. And who would have ever thought it came from a changing table? So again, this piece was free because I found it in the trash. The paint itself, I had some paint laying around. I had primer laying around. I had the top coat laying around, and I had a little bit of black paint left over from a previous flip. So I just had to go and get a little bit more of the same color so I would have plenty of this paint. So it cost me about $15 worth of product, which is not a lot at all, to be able to completely paint it and get it coated. Now, since this piece actually was missing the top drawer, I had to figure out what to do. So if I'm making a wine bar, I thought the best thing I could possibly do is actually include a wine rack. So I went over to my local hardware store and bought a piece of wood and measured the size of what wine bottles would be, and I made these little wine cubbies with wood and some nails and wood glue. It's a little challenging for me because that's the first time I've ever done that. However, it didn't cost a lot of money, and once I got it where it needed to be and I painted it, it fit beautifully in that spot. You would never know that a dresser drawer was missing in this piece. So that alone probably cost me $10. I bought a huge sheet of wood, but I used maybe a quarter of it. So it cost me about $10 of wood glue and wood just to get it where it needed to be. The hardware itself, I had extras from a previous flip as well. So I only needed a couple pieces of hardware for this. So that didn't cost me any money. And I had an old wine rack from my old place, and it had the wine glass holder, and I kept it. I had it in my garage. So it hit me that this would be perfect. So I was able to go ahead and drill it into this. And so now it holds martini glasses and wine glasses. That was free. I painted it gold, it matches the hardware. I couldn't be happier. So I loved this project. And then the only thing to really tie everything together was the lining. I thought I would add the lining just to give it a little bit more character, and this lining was perfect. It only cost me about $8. It was on sale on Amazon. If you like this lining, the link is below. I highly recommend it. It's a beautiful wallpaper, and it goes on very easily. It's perfect. So again, the bar was free. Well, the changing table was free. The lining only cost me $8. I spent about $15 in paint, about $10 in my wood and my wood glue products. And sandpaper, I added to that wood product route. So it was only like $10 worth of stuff. It was a very easy piece to work with. And the hardware was free. So I spent $33, $35 total on redoing this piece. Now, I didn't sell it for a lot. I'll be honest with you, this is probably one of my first pieces that I put on Facebook Marketplace to try to sell. I've never done this before, and it wasn't real wood. So I really didn't know how well it would go over or how much it would sell for. I just put it on the Facebook Marketplace for $100 just to see if it would go anywhere. Again, first piece, not real wood. It was just more a fun project for me to do. And believe it or not, a week into having it listed on Facebook Marketplace, someone offered me full price of $100 for it. So I profited $67 on this piece. Not my most profitable piece to flip, not my bragging right piece to flip, but I learned a lot by cutting wood and learning to make a wine cubby. And it was a great learning project. You know, sometimes pieces aren't going to be profitable and make you a lot of money, but you need to learn. And that was how I looked at this piece. It was a learning piece. So really, really fun. I'm glad I did it. It's a beautiful piece. So yeah, $67. Learn a couple new tricks, put it in my tool belt, the little thoughts and things I learned from it. So I encourage you, again, things can come from the trash. Things don't have to be expensive. You can use things that you already have, like hardware or maybe some paint that you have in the garage. It doesn't need to be difficult, and it doesn't need to be this most fabulous, extravagant, real wood piece that you're working with. It could just be something you find in the trash that you want to renew for either your home or for someone else's home. So I encourage you to get out there and start flipping.